Your bar chords sound fine, but they're stuck sounding basic. Want to know why? Your pinky isn't pulling its weight. In 1999, Prince gives us the perfect training ground. Your index, middle, and ring hold the bar chord, while your pinky does all the work, adding those extensions that take you from amateur to pro.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Hey everyone, I'm AJ Hansen with Level Up Your Guitar, where I teach cool songs organized into level-based playlists that make you better fast. If you're new here, hit subscribe. I drop fresh lessons every week. Tab sheet music is in the description, transcribed by yours truly. When you want private lessons, scan the QR code or check the link below. First things first, this guitar lesson will be primarily about bar chords. Think of bar chords as the Swiss Army knife of rhythm guitar. They're versatile, movable, and once you've got them down, they unlock hundreds of songs across every genre. Now here's something cool about the original recording. The rhythm guitar parts we're learning today are panned on the left channel, while the lead parts are over on the right. For this lesson, we're sticking with the rhythm, that foundational groove-driven left side. We're not covering those lead parts so you can laser focus on building that rock-solid rhythm foundation. All right, so we'll start with the intro first. Now, this part I arranged from the synthesizer part onto guitar. We will use a bar chord, but the stuff we're looking for is going to come next, but this is a really quick intro, so let's jump into that. So you'll place your index finger in the 8th fret, barring from the A string down. And then you'll take your ring finger and place it on the B string 10th fret. And when you're looking at the sheet music here, you're going to start by plucking the A string by itself. Now that's going to ring out for 2 whole measures. Then once you get to beat 2, now you will strum the B and the E strings. And that'll be this A note on the B string 10th fret and the barred note on the 8th fret. Followed by adding the pinky to the B string 11th fret, strumming both B and E strings. So the first measure goes like this. Then we'll get into measure 2, and then we'll remove the pinky, bringing back that ring finger. And then for the last note on the and of beat 2, add the pinky back to the 11th fret on the B string. And then beats 3 and 4 are just rest, so you can stop playing there. So let me demonstrate the 2 measures. And you can see that's the first 2 measures. Then you'll just repeat the same thing in measures 3 and 4, and then those 4 measures together, you'll repeat those, and that's when the big chunky bar chords are going to come in. So let's check that out. So now we're getting into the verse. Let me demonstrate it real quick. So you can see that we're using a lot of the same form as what we did in the intro, but now the ring finger is going to be a bit higher and the pinky is going to be moving a lot. And that's, in my opinion, what is special about this song is this moment right here. Because like I said in the intro, when you're doing a bar chord, your index finger is staying put. Then you're usually building the chord quality with your middle and ring. And obviously pinky too, there are plenty of bar chords where you got to use the pinky. But oftentimes you'll use that pinky, because it's free, to do ornamentations or extra chord extensions. But one of the things that beginners get stuck with is this part of the hand is really where that strength and flexibility comes in, right in here, and it does kind of involve the ring finger as well. So this is a really good song and riff to focus on getting that facility in your hand. So let's get to it now. So again, we're barred in the exact same spot. The only difference is now, well, the same spot being the 8th fret all the way up to the A string. Now your ring finger is going to be on the D string 10th fret. And now the pinky will be on the B string 10th fret. And then the high E string is just the barred finger. And that's our F7 chord, or F dominant 7. So we'll cover the first 2 beats. It starts similar to the intro by just playing the A string by itself and then strumming through the entire chord on beat 2. And again, a A shape dominant 7 chord is one of those tricky chords. I remember learning this, and I often had like the muted 3rd string there. That's the one note that makes it the 7th chord, because you're playing this E flat here. So make sure that you have good curl to your fingers. And another quick tip, and this works for open position chords, but in general, what happens when you have a finger muting a string underneath, what you can do is just take, we'll use this camera angle, watch your large knuckles here. If you just push them out a couple millimeters, like 3 at most, that gives you that nice wraparound so that you're not muting that 3rd string. So if you're kind of flat like this, you run into that, push those knuckles out just a little bit. And that usually solves most people's issues with muted notes. All right, back into it. So we've got beat 1 and beat 2. Beat 3, you're gonna slide that pinky out or kick it out into the 11th fret for this F7 suspended 4. So we can just take beats 2 and 3 and just get used to that movement. And feel free to arpeggiate it or play it one string at a time so you can hear every note clearly. Because if you're strumming, you might not hear any muted notes. So starting from beat 1, we got... Now we get into the funky syncopated 16th note rhythm. So in beat 3, you're going to do a down strum followed by 2 up strums. And again, when you do those up strums, you can see this in the sheet music, you just need to hit a couple strings. 3 is ideal, 2 is still enough. Just make sure you don't strum through everything. You want to give this strumming pattern some space. So starting from the beginning at a slow pace. And in the rhythm, we've got quarter note, and then the syncopated section, and on beat 4, you've got a quarter note rest. So you got 1, 2, 3, E, That would be the rhythmic dictation for that section. 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, E, So say that, that'll help you absorb this rhythm. Instead of just going through the motions, know what it sounds like and feels like to say it. And now we can get into measure 2 of the verse. Now the pinky will come back to the 10th fret on the B string for our F dominant 7. And now we're going to do 4 16th note strums, just going down, up, down, up. And here you want to avoid that bass note on the A string. If you hit it, not the end of the world, but definitely do your best to just keep it on those 4 skinny strings. So from the beginning, we've got... That sounds kind of awkward without going into the next one, so let's add beat 2. So we've got beat 1. And our pinky is going to go back to the 11th fret on the B string. So we've got 1E and a 2. And from there, not sure if this is exactly in the recording, but it feels good to do it. Also sounds cool, but a little muted strum on the and of beat 2. So that'll be 2 down strums, and then you'll immediately want to bring that pinky back into the 10th fret, and then up strum on the last 16th note of beat 2. So again, that rhythm is 2 and a, 2 and a, 2 and a, down, down, up. So all of measure 2, and I'll say beats 3 and 4 are a rest again, so no playing. But make sure you count your rests. Just because there's no playing, you got to count your rests. So starting from the beginning there, measure 2. All right, now let's put that all together.
Assassinated today, only hours after revealing to the world that she is super able. For now.
All right, so there's the verse. Now, you can see in the sheet music, I put in another section in here where it's including some muted strumming. This is totally optional. This is kind of my own thing, or maybe you'll like this. Perhaps you're not playing this with a band, you just want to jam to this. And, you know, guitar players, we love to play all the time. So we're going to play all the time. I added a few 16th note muted strums in there just to kind of keep the time going, but it's not too obtrusive or it's not overplaying too much, just kind of keeping the groove going. So let me demonstrate that. So let me walk you through that. Beats 1, 2, and 3 are all the same. What we're adding is during that quarter note rest, the downbeat of beat 4 is a rest, but then E and are an up, down, up muted strum. So we've got up, down, up. And then when we get into measure 2, it stays all the same until beat 3. So that would be rest on beat 3, E and a 4. E and a, E and a 4. E and a 4. So again, just a little side quest. If you want to do that, go for it. If you want to stay purist, stick with the first part, or you could mix it up depending on how you're feeling. All right, so that should cover all the verse information and frankly, probably 90% of this song. So let's hit the chorus. That'll go by really quickly because we're gonna reuse some of this verse part. So in the chorus, it starts with a B flat major bar chord, barred in the 6th fret all the way across all 6 strings. And then you'll have the middle finger on the G string 7th fret, ring finger on the A string 8th fret, and pinky right underneath that on the D string 8th fret. Now you can also see in the sheet music, this has the little arpeggio line. So this is an arpeggiated strum. Everything else has been like a laser beam strum, very quick and staccato. This, you want to fan through it. So we've got a whole note that's arpeggiated. Simple enough, we'll move on. Then the D minor 7, you'll move to the 5th fret with your bar and all the way up to the A string. And then ring finger on the D string 7th fret, middle finger on the B string 6th fret. And then another arpeggiated strum starting from the A string. So those first 2 measures, B flat to D minor 7. And then you go back to the verse. So let me play the entire chorus, the first 4 measures, and then I'll do the repeat the way it is in the song. And one slowly. So that's the chorus. Not much to it. Now you're going to basically repeat that verse and chorus over and over and over again until you come to about 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the song. And that's where I would say you could call this like an outro riff. It's basically taking that verse riff, simplifying the chord down to just double stops on the B and E strings, and it simplifies the rhythm down a little bit. So let me demonstrate that. So what we have going on here, beat 1 is a rest. So you get that for free, and you'll have your index finger on the high E string 8th fret and ring finger on the B string 10th fret. So there's beat 2, just a quarter note. And then beat 3 has the same 3E that we've seen before on the B and E strings, both in the 11th fret. We'll go back here. Let's talk. Here's my philosophy on this. You could certainly play those double stops in the 11th fret with your ring finger and just kind of bar across it. Nothing particularly wrong with that. I like using fingertips as much as possible. One thing I discovered in college, I was playing a lot of classical guitar, nothing like this, and I realized that the more I used my fingertips, the clearer of a sound I got. Now it's, my joke is always like, close your eyes. Yeah, it sounds like a guitar. That's kind of my philosophy, but they always say tones in the fingers. Well, what does that mean? It means using your fingertips, because that's where the string is making more contact with the bone of your finger as opposed to the soft, mushy material on the pads of our fingers. So, what do I like to do? I prefer using my ring and pinky in those 11th fret notes. So if you're not used to using your pinky, it may be a bit uncomfortable, but if you do, check up and back between barring flat versus fingertips, you will notice a subtle difference, a little bit more brilliance or presence in the top end. That's really where I noticed it when I was discovering this kind of on my own. I remember the day I was in a practice room. So pick a way that you like and it'll be fine. But you'll see me use my fingertips like a stuffy classical guitarist. So we've got beats 1, 2, 3, and that's a down, down, up, up. So not too much to that. Then in the second measure, we're gonna go back to that 8-10 double stop, basically the F dominant 7, and then we've got down, up, down, or 1E and. Into beat 2, we'll go back to that double 11. So we've got down, up, down, down. And then again, we'll bring that 16th note muted strum and then go back to the 8-10. And this is all in beat 2. And here's all of the second measure. And we'll put them both together. And slowly. And again, you can see on the sheet music, that's going to repeat again. Then you've got a nice phrase of 4 measures, and that repeats to the end of the song. You could still keep doing the verse part. I don't think anyone would call you out for that, but when I was transcribing this, I noticed that for the first time ever, and I was like, oh, I'd never even noticed that part before. So I was like, okay, transcribe it, figure out what it is, and you can choose your own adventure. And there you have it, 1999 by Prince. If this helped you level up, hit that like button and subscribe for more songs with practical techniques that make you better fast. Sheet music is in the description. When you want personalized guidance, check out the private lesson link below. And if you want more bar chords to play, check out the playlist up here or down there, not sure which. Anyway, keep playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Good. In your face, Charlie Murphy. Good.